drawing style for stairs. So you can see elevation, stairs, and railing, and it's coming in pretty much blank apart from some dimensions here from these points on the grid line to the top of steel and between the grid lines. And there's no labels or anything coming in here, so the drawing style I'm using here is I basically copied the original one, which was elevation, view, stairs, and railing, and I just copied it to a new one. Now, the issue we have right now is this is not numbered. That's why there's no labels in. So I don't want to number it yet because there was no real design on this, so we're just kind of sending it in to get markups. So I figured it would maybe be a good time to create a drawing style for like a pre-numbered stairs. So instead of having labels for main parts, it's going to be all just for beams. So we can start by going in here. This, just a warning, this might be a long enough video, so I'm just going to go through the process kind of slowly, and I'm surely going to make plenty of mistakes, so that'll probably slow me down also. Right now, part mark, yeah, see, that's kind of weird. These are things I did a while back as well, so you know, I'm going to start afresh next year, so as you can see, I have a lot of different stuff in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just copy that, and I'm going to copy it to pre, so we know it's before numbering. Okay, so there's our new style. It's coming in on the bottom for now. And then we're going to go to the next step, go to the view definition, and we're going to create a new one of this. So this is just the basic way of creating new style each time, and then we're going to call that pre also. It's a little bit of a long-winded name, but anyway, it'll do for now. Then we'll go to object presentation, and we want to create a new one for that. So we'll do the same thing, and we'll take out this extra stuff here. And then pre. Alright. So now we basically have our new style. We'll go back and check our scale, and our scale is 1/2 inches to 1, which is what we already had here. So I can apply this, but it's basically going to come in the same way, right? So I need to change something. So let's go into object presentation, and we can see we have main part rails, main part rail, main part stairs. So we have stringers here, and that's set to off. So if we go into the stringer one, let's have a look and see. So the stringers can be either plates or beams with the model run stringer. Okay, so that's good. So we can use that. So let's go back to object presentation, stringer. You can see it's in as visible hidden. Visible is probably good enough, but visible hidden is fine. And then we'll go over here and let's see, we'll want to change this to something, right? So we don't have it numbered, so we just want to do, see if we go to part marks. See, I've got some extra in here where I messed up. So we don't want mark and name because we don't have a mark, right? So we have mark and depth. So that's part marks. If we go to beams, you can see we have section name. So something like this, we might want section name 330 seconds. So apply, use, and let's see what happens. Right, so now we can see it's come in with that section name here and here. So maybe we want a leader line, right? So we were going to change that and put a leader line in. So we'll go back in and let's go in. We'll go into it all together. We'll go in all the way. It's kind of easier sometimes. So section name leader at 45 with leader. Now we don't want it at with the lead with at 45, so it's not placing it along the object. It has the leader line. So apply, use, and it'll update it with a label, right? So now it's coming in with the. Now it's not might not be exactly where you want it. That's a whole nother issue. Lining up the labels. For now, we won't concentrate on that. Now, the other thing I need to do is, so I have a couple of these stairs, so once I set this up, I can use it for all the stairs. That's kind of the idea. So these are actually aluminum stringers. So if I go back, I created these in the macro. So let's see. Let me isolate the stairs because I have everything turned on here. So let's try and isolate the stairs a little better. So we have two stairs there. So what I'll do is we'll drag this over, and you can only go like less than halfway and then go again. So we'll drag. This is kind of how I work. This is what I use for my work area. I just drag the box around like that. Isolate, hide. Alright, so I'm going to turn off that wall so when we orbit we can see. Now, if I go and click on this, I can see the material is not right. So what I want to do is, these are all aluminum stringers, so I'm going to select them all. I'm just going to do it manually for now. I could set up a filter for it, but I'm not going to bother. And let me pick these. Advanced property, and then we're going to go down here, and we're going to others, and then we're going to come in here and go to aluminum, right? So because it's in aluminum stairs, of course, I could just set this up and put right underneath here that the stairs is all aluminum, right? Or we can come back in here to our drawing style, and let's have a look, see what I've got set up in here. So we have existing section name. All right, so what we can do is we can select this one, which is already selected, and we can create a new one. And section name, so we want to put in material. I'll put in material, sorry. Material section name, ADM 330 seconds, okay. Just remember you have to create a new one down here also. So create a new one here, and I'm going to also name this material. Section name 330 seconds, okay. So this whole process basically shows you how to do everything. You can basically set up anything you want if you follow this process. So it's quite an important video. I'm sure most people won't watch it, but that's fine. Anyone who watch it will, I think, benefit from it. So we'll come down here and we'll go to material, apply, and then use. We'll come back in here and it'll update for us. And you can see it has updated with the material. So now when we go to a next drawing, that will also work. Now, as you can see, I have this in here, which kind of looks weird to you, I guess. So what I'll do is, because this was a plate stringer, I drew in some channels here to help me out. Now, I don't want to delete these channels yet because this handrail is still part of the macro. See, advanced joint properties, so it's still part of the macro. So I want to leave these in here, but I don't want them to be showing up on my drawing. So maybe the next time I also want to have them in there, and I don't want to delete them and I don't want to see them. So what I'll do is let's create a new model role for these. So if we go to Home, Management Tools, and I actually only thought of this today. Maybe it's not a good idea, but doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'll just have a look to see, make sure there's nothing like it in here. So I was going to put it in as construction, and CON. All right, so there's no construction. So because I'm using it for construction. So or we could call it a fake beam, maybe. Fake or construction. I guess fake is shorter. So let's pick one of these. Let's pick angle, and let's do a new one. And we're going to name it fake. Or maybe temporary. Would temporary be better? Temp. Let's call it temp. And group all steel beams will do. And that's good. Let's pull this over here and apply, close, update these, come in here, select these three, advanced properties, go to naming, come in here, and I almost forgot what I called it, but I called it temp, right? So ST temp, there we go. So they're now temporary. Okay. So now we're going to go back to our drawing here, and we need to use that model role to control that. So we want to go back to our output. We want to go in here. We want to go back to our object presentation. Now keep in mind, after you do this, once you number, this one is not going to work for you. So there is probably a better way to do this where you can use the same one, but I use two different drawing styles. So I'll create another one. When after I number, I'll just use this process to use, and I'll update, and it'll update with all the numbers. It's not seamless right now, but it's getting pretty close. So we want to come in here, we want to pick beams. You could pick side width. It's not side width actually. So if we go to pick beams here, this one. So let's create a new one of these. So we're going to create a new one, right? And then we're going to come in here. Sorry. And then we're going to create new model objects. So we're going to come in here, create new model objects, copy of beams, and we're going to put in temp beams. Temp beams, parts without model role. I want to have it parts with model role. Okay. And beams, all model roles. I want to, in order to delete this, we need to add one first. So let's add one. And then we'll come in here. Actually, I could have just changed the first one, right? So yeah, but this is just a different way of doing it, I guess. So go in here and find your temp label so that it will select any beams that are temp. And there we are, temp. And then what I'll do is we'll move that one up to the top, and then we'll delete this. Now you probably could have just changed that one, but same difference, just takes me longer, I guess. Apply that, and then go back to my object presentation, and the temp beams are shown as visible, so I want them to be off, and apply. So now the problem is If I use this, nothing is going to happen because, so let's just see if it works. Now I'm not always right, but let me put this below this, right? If I do apply and use, we'll zoom in so we can see what happens. And we can see that nothing has happened, right? Because the list is in order of preference, so it starts at 1, 2, 3, and so on. We all know how to count, I hope. And so we can see that this is below. So when it gets to beams, this one here is doing beams with all model roles, which includes my temporary model role. So what we need to do is come back here and we need to get this temporary beam and we need to move it up here, right? So we want to move it above this. Now something up here else might be controlling that, but I don't think so looking at it quickly. Apply, use, and let's see. So it has disappeared, or they have all disappeared, right? So that's good. That's what we wanted. So we're getting there. So now we have labels here. We have removed these beams that we didn't want, so they're gone. And now we want to get some labels in on our handrails, right? Now you have a couple of ways to do this. I mean, you could just come in here and do insert label and then change and then check where you're set up in here for beams. And you can see this is looking for an assembly mark for the main part. Attach parts, his name, with leader line. So let's just see what happens when we pick a couple of these parts. Look, right, so we're going to pick these. We'll pick kick rail. And it comes in with labels like that. But that's not kind of the way we want it either, right? Labels are all over the place. It's better to set it up a little better. The only thing is, if you set the railing in to come in, if these labels have the same model rolls or these railings, they're all going to get a label. But it's easier to delete labels than it is to add labels. So I don't know if there's another way around that. But I guess the steps are going to be grading, right? So we want to do them. We want to do the platform here. We probably want to do one of these. So what we can do is, let's do a railing first. So what we'll do is we'll come back in here. This is our railing. We'll click on it. We can see what is this. This is the railing handrail stair. So that's all probably going to be controlled under the same thing. If you check here, this one is handrail landing, so you probably don't need the one on the landing, so you can just label the one on the stairs, or you can just label the one on the landing and you'll just come in with one label. So we can try that. So we can go back here and we can do back into the model role, or sorry, back into the drawing style, not in there, back into the drawing style. All right. So we can see we have railing model roll all here, right? So this is the main part. So this is after you number it. So let's copy. If we copy that, let's copy that down to the bottom. We can go and have a look. We can see it's looking for visible. Now, right now, this beam's here. Not this beam's here. This beam's here is controlling those handrails. So let's just see. So if we come in here, let's go to beams. And let's go section name, 330 seconds, apply. Oh, that didn't work for some reason. Let's try again. Okay, apply, use. let's see what sort of labels come in. So it's going to label all the beams. Yeah, so see, it just labeled everything. So let's label this. All the labels are set to come in running the length of the piece. So we can go back and check that. Right, so we want to check that, right? So let's go to beams, this one, right? Yeah. Then check, and we can see that this is placed along the objects, right? And there's no leader line. So that's okay, we kind of knew that was going to happen. So we'll go back to object presentation. Sorry, sometimes these don't like being clicked on. All right, so it's not going to be main part. So parts, all models, parts with model roles. And then we can have a look in here, see what we have. Stringers, there's no railings, so what you want to do is, that's without model roles. So let's go back to the first category here. And parts, all model roles. As you can see, for some reason I just have all copied ones. So if we go in here, special parts, curved beams, plates, polylines. So pickets, platforms, stringers, parts without model roles of specific types, right? So right now I want to create a railing one, so what I'll do is, what's in others? Attach parts with model role. As you can see, I have a lot of problems in mine with copied stuff. Alright, so it seems we'll need to create one, right? So we can easily create them, it's not a problem. So what we want to do is we want to come in and pick one first, right? So we want to pick a regular one like a beam. So let's go in parts of model role. Then we'll do beam, right? And now let's go into this one. And then we want to change it. We want to create a new one. And what we want to do is let's apply and let's close this for a second. And let's go back and let's do this one. Now there might not be a landing on the stairs, so let's do this one. So the name of this is railing handrail stairs. So go back in here and create a new one. Railing handrail. I can just create a railing one, right? So I'll do a railing one. Parts with model role, okay. And then I'm going to come in here, create a new one. And this new one, it's not going to be beams. We'll see what we got in here. We can just do beams with the model roles. So what we'll do is let's pick the model roles. So railing, railing, handrail, stair. So that's the one we wanted. You can also pick the landing if you want. So let's pick the railing, handrail, stair. Let's move this one up to the top. Let's delete this one. And so now we've created this one for railings. So let's create another one here. And we'll call this railing. You know what? Let's delete this because I said to myself I'll do this slowly, just because sometimes it's just better to create them slowly, even though people don't really want to watch them. But I used to watch the slower ones, so maybe other people will too. So if I update this, nothing's actually going to happen now because I didn't move it up, right? So I'm going to move this up above the beams one. So what I'll do is I want to go back to this beams one here, and I want to change this to off. So other and off. So I want to turn that one off, and then I want to select the railing one, and I want to move that up above that one. And apply and use, and it's going to come in with the mark and name ADM 330 seconds. So I don't want it to come in like that. I want to come in with beams, materials section, right? Isn't that what I call it? That one there. It's just hard to see it. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't pick. Sometimes you're better off to get into it all together and go all the way in here. Let's go in here and change it because I'm doing it wrong. I can't see it right. So back up to the top, go to beams, scroll down, material name, that one, apply, use, and it should add that label to the top rail. There you go. It's added one there and one down here. Now that's pretty good. So now also we might want one on the grab rail, we might want one on the kick plate. So you just basically can do the same thing, but now you can add it to this one. So if we go in here, we click on this post, railing post landing. So what we might do is we might just add the label to the one on the landing. If we add it to these, it's going to add 6. So these are railing post stair and railing post landing. So go back here, come in here, and we want to go back a step, and we want to come in here, and we want to add another one, and we're going to change it to railing post stair. If we do railing post landing, it's just going to come in with the one on the landing, right? So apply, use. So you can see this takes a little bit of time, but I guess the beauty of it is you can just apply this to the next one and it'll come in the way you want it to. So it's just giving me that one. Now you can see I need to change my material grade because I want these all to be aluminum, but for now it doesn't matter. It's just to show you what way to do it. So let's go back in and we could change that to railing post stair, or there's also railing post last, I guess. So let me check, apply, use. So now in theory these ones should get labeled and this one should disappear, right? Because I've just changed it. So let's see if that one disappears. So there you go, there's your posts, and I guess this is the last one. So we'll come back in, we'll go up to the top, naming, that's railing post stair also, so it's not. So what we can do, actually there's the label, right? So what we can do is, what might be good practice, right, would be to come in here and name this as railing post last, right? And then come back in here and go to your drawing style here, and let's change this to railing post last, and then we should just get the label on the first one, right? And then you could also add typical after this, right? So you could literally just go in. I mean, you could add typical to them all, I guess, by. I won't worry about that now. I won't get too technical on it. So basically, we just create another. What I did, just create another label and have typical here, maybe after in brackets, so that they know that all the posts, or you could have post in here, maybe with the model role before the material. So if you wanted to do that, you just come back in and go back to railing, come back in here and this one here with the materials section, create a new one and model role, materials section, okay, and then do the same down here. And we want to do model role first, okay, and then in here we're going to put the model role. Now the only problem I have with this is I use capitals a lot, and this is not going to do the capitals for me because the model roles are all in proper text or whatever, cursive, I guess. So I'm going to apply and use, and we'll use this, and now we'll see if the model role comes in. Now you probably don't want this because it's quite long. Railing handrail stair. It's not too bad. It looks all right. I mean, you can change that to whatever you want. You can write in user text there if you want. Railing handrail stair, pipe, schedule farming, that's fine. You know, and then you can do other things like the elbows. You're going to want to label these, which are in as naming, are in as grab rail connector. So if you see this grab rail connector, what you can do here is the same thing. Now that I've discovered it, what you can do is, I was going to suggest putting in grab rail connector. Now these are, as you can see, beam also. I guess there's two ways around. I'm just trying to think. You could go and add another model role that's grab rail connector last. So if you come back in here, go to management tools. I don't know why this is so wide, sorry. And go to model role. And we're gone way past G. So go back to G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Grab rail connector. And then I guess we can just copy that. Copy, and then new, paste, and then last. Oh, sorry, I have a plaster on that finger. Last, all steel beams. And we can make it a little smaller. Apply. Okay, update. Come in here. And then let's change this naming to grab rail connector last. And then come back in here, and you know, problem you're going to have now is this is all going to get bunched up here, right? So maybe the bottom one is not going to be your last, that one would be your first maybe, right? So let's change the other one to the last one, right? Doesn't really matter, it's just using the name just to give you something different. So come up to the top, name that, grab rail connector last, back into your drawn style. See how much fun it is? back into your drawing style here. And now we want to create one for this. So we can go back to object presentation. So I guess you're probably getting the swing of how to do it now. So what I'll do is select the railing. And you can see that's quite a long-winded name, but it's appropriate, I guess. You know, you can change this to model role plus M plus section name, whatever you need to do. Let's copy this. So I'm going to copy the railing one. I'm going to go into it, and I'm going to change this. And there might be something in here for connectors. I don't know. There surely is. Wall connector. That's all wall connector in there. Parts without model role. Parts with model role. Yeah, so we'll do the same with beam. Grab rail connector last. Parts with model role. Okay. Come in here. It's going to be a beam with the model role. Grab rail connector last. Apply. And then we're going to come back to the grab rail connector. We're going to go in and check. So now we can change this, and you can change it to whatever you want. I've all sorts of rubbish in here. You could just put it in as a bracket, I guess, you know. Or you could just put it in a section name. Let's just put it in a section name. Section name, 330 seconds. And no leader line. So let's do the leader line. We'll need it here for sure. Apply, use. And the grab rail connector at the top should be the only one that gets a label. It doesn't because I never moved it right, so I need to move it. So I forgot. I wasn't trying to teach you a lesson there. I just didn't remember. So let's move this up to in or around where them other ones were. So we can put it in here. Apply, use. And now it should come in at the top, that one label. It didn't, so that's been controlled by something else. So if you have that issue and you're too lazy to find it, you can just move it all the way up. So, so it's here right now. So something up here, there's probably a bent side width. Maybe that's the one. Let's move it up before stringer and see. So sometimes it's a bit hit and miss. You might think you have it right, then you might just not be seeing something else. And there it's come in. So it's a round bar one. So what we can do for the grab rail then is we might wanna add a little label to that. So maybe you want to come back in here and go back to your grab rail connector. Come back in here, section name, and then I want to create a new one where it's brackets. And then we want to add a new one here. So you got to be careful. You don't want to add loads of stuff, but it's just kind of showing you, you know, you can literally really do anything. Now I'm torn here because I put this in capitals, but then my other ones will be in as cursive text. And this should update to bracket typical round bar half inch. label that correctly, it'll only come in at this location. Now you can do the same for all your corners and everything if you choose to give them another model role. So we can have this come in here, naming elbow. So you want to come in with elbow, you want to give it an elbow. So you can do the same thing, you can do elbow last and have the last elbow just come in with the label. So it's kind of a good way of controlling it actually, just to add the last in the way. So right now you can see we're getting some labels in. You can do the same with the kick rail or the kick plate. And you can put these in also if you want. And I guess we'll do the grating here. So the step on the grating is mechanicals, right? So it is grating and it's the side view of the grating. So yes, it's going to be a model roll. Sorry, it's the model roll we need to have a look at. So the model roll should be step, naming, grating, step. So let's go back in here and see here when it's numbered. Here's all the ones. So these will get updated once this all gets numbered with whatever these are, and then we can update those accordingly. You can see the side width ones are not going to have any model roll. So what I'm gonna do, what was I doing? I was doing steps, right? Sorry, it's getting a bit late here. So steps are here, as you can see, and it's coming in visible, exact, hidden, system, and mark and name. So let's go up to the top. Sorry, I'm yawning. Excuse me. And let's do section name with leader. Now this is controlling all of them in any depth position. So uh, we're supposed to use it inside in this drawing style. So let's go back in, use, and now select it. So it didn't come in. So these steps didn't come in with any labels. So we have something amiss. So let's check these steps. And the beams with a model roll step. So these are great and there's not model roll steps. So step plate, stay plate. Sorry, it's getting late here. I forgot what that was again. Apologies. Naming and grade step. Sorry. Now, grade step is not actually going to be in as a beam. It's going to be in as grating. So it's not going to really work the way I was looking at it there. So we really want to go to grating. So if it was made out of a bent plate or a beam, a bent folded beam, then that was the one we would use. So there's grating down here, top, all, maybe this is the one here, right? So let's click on the grating and let's go in and see what this covers. It covers all model rolls, all types of grating. So we could change this to whatever we want or add new ones or whatever. For now, we'll just use this one. So if we go back a step and come in here and it's coming in with no label, we want to change this to come in with the label, section name with leader line, apply, use. Now that has not worked either, and it's probably because it's too low down on the list. Grading's also grading top. So, like I say, if you're in doubt sometimes, it can be just good just to move it up, to be honest with you. Let's see what happens if we move it up here below main part. Stair, apply, use. Nope. So let me see again. Concrete cladding profile. Oh, so that should be good. So the only way to really find out, because maybe that's not the one. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. It's getting late. I'm a bit tired. Apply, use, move it all the way to the top. See what happens. Yeah, so that's, I'm not using the right one. I'm using that wrong. So actually, this other grating is not coming in either. So side width. Any should also cover side width, so this is not going to do anything either. But as you can see, it's easy enough to get stuck on these things. So that's not the one, and I don't know what the reason is, because if I come in here, it's saying grading with all model roles, and I'll change that back. I'd have to revisit this another time. Uh, Let me have a look again. It'll remind me if I don't figure this out. So it's grading parts without model roles, parts with model roles. This is a copy of the one. I don't think I'm going to get it now, to be honest. I'm going to have to wrap this up. Don't know what the reason is. Maybe somebody else knows, or maybe I'll figure it out tomorrow. But basically, you can go through all, add the plates and everything. That's gonna bother me now. I might have to stop the video and then I'll maybe try and pursue it outside the video. And if I get figured out, I'll get back on. Um, why I'm a little. This is kind of confusing me. Why the grating is under the parts without model roles? It's probably because it's covering all model roles. See, if I go in here and let's just change this to grading step, is that an option? Grade step, apply, use. No, no good either. So I thought that would have worked because if you go back, you can see that this is a great step. Variable grading. So I'm not quite sure. I'm a little confused as to why that's not working. As I said, I have it all the way at the top of the list, so there's nothing else that can be undermining it because it comes first. Now I've changed this one to this, which is not what you want to do. So let's change it back, and I guess I'll hopefully do another video when I figure out what I did wrong. So we'll change this back to all model roles, apply, use, cancel. So basically then the thought is you can go to another drawing, which is actually the same thing. I just have it on a different drawing, or we could use this one. Let's open the same one because I copied this detail from another page. So if I go in here to 300, you can see it's got the same detail. So basically then the thought is, let's say this is a different stairs altogether. You can see all the stuff I have here. And then if we come in here, we can just use this and select this. And you can see the channels will disappear in the stairs and some labels will come in. And then obviously we have to spend more time on this to get the kick rails in, to get the steps in, the plates underneath the steps, the angle here underneath the stairs, the grating here. Another little bit of work, but you can see it's kind of coming in better than before. Obviously, you can do these whatever way you want. So, hopefully the video helped. I hope to get more cover in the time, but no such luck. I hope it was helpful. Obviously, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm kind of winging it and recording it at the same time. So